Hey everyone, Crystal with Vintage Booth Pro here. Today I want to talk about some action items that you can take today to improve the sales of your antique booth business during this economic turndown. So if you do not already follow my channel, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe if you are a vintage booth owner or are thinking about it or are just interested in the vintage industry. I started my journey with a vintage booth just kind of on a whim a few years ago, and I couldn't find a ton of information out there, so I started this channel. And I also started a community over on Facebook where I could hopefully help people learn what's selling in their parts of the world. So it's a free community. You are more than welcome to join. I post daily sales updates, even if it's nothing, which sometimes it is. And a lot of people in the group do as well. We are a massively fast growing group. So I would love to see you over there. And I also post as much as I can on my website, vintageboothpro.com. And all these tips that I'm going to suggest today are on a blog post, which I will link in the description below. So it is May, and I have just gotten my check for last month, and it is the absolute worst check that I've ever gotten. I like to do monthly update videos, but I haven't done them lately because my sales have been so bad and it's literally embarrassing. But I'm the kind of person that I like to take action instead of complaining. I went into my booth into my store to get my check, and the owner was telling me that, he was kind of like, he understood. It's like, I sold a big piece of furniture towards the end of the month, and he was like, bet you glad you sold that? I'm like, heck yes, I am. And he told me that compared to last year, the store overall was up single digits since last April 2023. So the store's overall performance had improved. And he said that a lot of the booths in the store had record months. Some people, however, did not even make rent. And according to him, that the people that did not make rent, he did not see in the store at all to update their booth. So that's a common thing that we know, that you need to be in your booth at least once a week, updating, rearranging. Even if you don't bring in new inventory, just get in there and freshen it up, move things around, up and down, left to right, just move it around. So let's get into the tips that you can take today, the action items that you can take to start improving your booth's traffic. And so if you have not taken hold of the marketing for your booth yourself, I want you to start looking at your booth like you are a business owner. This is your small business, and it is your responsibility to start marketing your inventory. So you may have been very lucky so far and doing really well just with foot traffic alone. I call that organic foot traffic, people that are going to be in the store anyways, and they just happen upon your booth. And then you may have a great store owner that does the marketing for you. Our store is pretty active on social media, and they also have some billboards around town, which really helps. So the first action item you can take is to utilize online marketplaces. And a lot of people are worried about doing this because when you post on, for example, Facebook Marketplace, you don't want to have to deal with the public and people coming to your house and things like this. Well, this is the complete opposite of that. You will put a note in the description that these items are at your store, and here's your store location, here's how to get to your booth, here's the hours. Put as much information about the store as possible and make it very clear that you are not meeting them, that they are responsible for going to the store. So Facebook Marketplace is probably the number one place that you can start listing things. And within Facebook as well, there are several buy, sell, local groups like yard sale groups where you can post as well. And a lot of people are worried about their friends seeing their post. There is an option when you post on Facebook Marketplace that you don't want your friends to see. Like, you can just click the option, don't let friends see this post. And you can do that. However, you won't be able to post in these buy-sell groups, which just gives your posting a little bit more views. So just something for you to consider. I see my friends posting things. I see my fellow booth owners posting things. And when I see my booth owners posting things, I will like and comment and just get some more interaction up, if I possibly can. So while Facebook Marketplace is probably the number one place to post, consider the Nextdoor app as well. That is kind of the go-to for people that don't want to be on Facebook. It's still pretty popular, and I've gotten a lot of comments from my postings on Nextdoor. There's also Craigslist and OfferUp, and probably others that I don't even know about. So you don't have to list everything on Facebook Marketplace. Choose like the most unique or most alluring, or things that you're like, I can't believe I still have this in my booth. I would post furniture. I would post anything really over $50. I've tried to post everything, even some smalls, but I just haven't had a ton of luck. But get measurements, take amazing pictures if you can. Get the measurements and include as much description as possible. And that is really going to help you increase your booth sales during this economic time, because when you don't have a lot of extra money, you're not going to go to a store looking for things. But if you're just happen to be looking online, you might still make the trip to pick something up. The next action item that you can take today to increase your vintage booth sales during this economic turndown, I guess we're calling it. I don't really know if we're in a recession or what these days here in the U.S., but it's not good. One day I had to buy gas and groceries on the same day, and it literally hurt. My wallet was crying. The next action item you can take is to start a social media presence for your business. So I highly recommend having a business name and logo. I've had videos where I helped some of our group members create logos. A super fun thing to do. I might offer it as a service. What do you think? It's not going to be like the most professional logos, but it's something that I can help you get going. So Facebook, you can start a business page on Facebook, but it's kind of clunky. I don't know that it's the best option these days. I've tried to start it and I've messed up and had to go back and delete, and I consider myself fairly technology abled, but it's just confusing for some reason. I was watching an Amanda's Mercantile when I was doing research for this video, and she highly recommends Instagram, which I don't really use Instagram that much personally, so I don't even have it downloaded on my phone. But consider Instagram as an option. I like TikTok, even though we are kind of up in the air about whether we're going to have it or not here in the U.S. But consider one of those options. Start a business social media presence for your antique booth business. Get a name. If you need help with a name, let us know in the group and we can help you come up with something. Action item you can take and consider this is to attend local events. I know my town has a farmer's market every week. There's also a flea market. Maybe you could have a booth at for a weekend. Even just talking to the vendors there. Get your business cards with your name, your booth name, location. Get it out there locally in the community. I know if you're on social media, you will know about all of the pop-up shops and everything that's happening in your community. Consider getting a booth there. It is a great way to increase your local presence. When things are bad like this, something you really need to be is adaptable. And being adaptable is the number one way to improve your business, keep your sales up, and keep going to the next phase of your business. In this economic turndown, when sales are just not there, you can either quit totally or you can be adaptable. And one thing that is really going to help with that is to look at your product mix in your inventory. So an action item for you to take is to talk to your store owner or even the front desk people that are working, the clerks, Ask them if they can come up with a top 5 list of things that are selling today, in the past month. What is the category of things that they see selling every day? And then consider adding some of those things, if it makes sense, within your buyer persona and, the overall theme and concept for your booth. Another aspect of being adaptable is researching current trends. I do this just by walking around, home goods, just some of your local home decor type shops, seeing what's popular. You can also search on trends.pinterest.com. You can see what people are searching for on Pinterest. The most important thing is to stay in the loop. You don't want it to be sourcing or looking for inventory that people just aren't buying. And being in an antique store is not always about being the trendiest, but it is good to know kind of the idea that people are looking for. And like the current thing, grandpa core, cottage core, These things are involve vintage pieces, so it will help you maybe create better vignettes or displays, and therefore make more sales. Action item is to communicate with other booth owners. Ask them what they're seeing. What advice do they have for you, especially people that have been in the business for a while. And over in my group, we talk about this quite a bit. And from what I've learned personally is that April and May are the slowest months. I know people always say it's months that start with a J. That could be totally different in the antique booth business because a lot of antique stores are in touristy areas that get a lot more foot traffic during those times. But April and May, where the money is going towards taxes, graduation, weddings, just end of school craziness. Have you heard that people are calling it Maycember now because there's so many activities in May that it's just really hard to keep up. So ask for advice from other booth owners, and a great way to do that is over in our community on Facebook, Vintage Booth Pro community. And you are more than welcome to join. Okay, here's another action item, and this one is really hard for me, but it's to host a virtual event. I see a lot of vintage booth owners doing it, and they'll have live sales on their social media accounts, and that kind of terrifies me for some reason, but a lot of people, it's super easy. Even going live on Facebook to show your booth. For some reason, it will show it to more people within Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, those sort of things. It's something that you can plan for. You can create an event online and get people excited for it. Maybe do some fun giveaways or raffles or something. Consider that hosting a virtual event to get people to see what is in your booth while they're looking online on social media. This one I feel like we talk about quite a bit, and it is to make your booth irresistible. Make people want to stop in your booth. Make people love coming back to your booth. And I have several blog posts and several videos about just ideas to do that. And the most recent one I created was about how to use interior design tips to improve your vintage booth displays. And that is like an action item, create a focal point. I did that recently with some shelves that I found on Amazon. And I think my booth looks really good, if I do say so myself. Another thing you can do is to add height, and that is an action item. Just go in your booth and see what you can stack just to bring your items up to eye level, because as you know, as people are walking through the store, they are looking left and right, and they're not looking up and down. They're looking at their eye level. Action item is to create a seasonal vignette. We are getting ready for Mother's Day. It's probably too late for that. Getting ready for graduation, summer vacations. There are a lot of fun summer ideas that you can create fun vignettes for, and that will help grab people's attention. Okay, the next kind of thing to consider is collaboration. How can you collaborate more with other people in your community? So one action item I have is to collaborate with a local influencer. So this one's kind of funny, but my local town has the Best of Awards. I feel like every town does it. And this year they included an influencer award. It's just people that are really active on social media, that sort of thing. So why not reach out to them and do some fun things with them? That's just a wild idea. I've never done it. I haven't seen anybody else do it. But hey, why not? Another action item is to collaborate with fellow booth owners. This one might be a little bit easier. Some of your fellow booth owners may have huge social media platforms. Why not come up with fun ways that you can collaborate with each other? Just get to know each other. I've noticed some people doing it in my store that are the very creative people that upcycle things, and they actually sell paint in their booth. So I've seen some collaboration there, and it's really helped their social media presence for everyone involved. So just something to consider. Another action item is to ask your store owner about hosting an event or a workshop. Is there something special that you do that's unique, or something that can be taught? Is it painting? Is it woodworking? Is it some kind of crafting that you can teach other people to do and bring people into the store? Maybe it's even a sip and shop that I've seen people do. Girls' night out, is a super fun thing that a lot of stores will do. We're always looking for a reason for a night out, even a date night. That's a really fun thing to do. I notice a lot of couples shopping on a Friday night. They'll go to dinner, maybe have a break between dinner and the movie or something, and just walk there because it's fun to shop in antique store. Maybe try to plan something around that. This next category is something kind of crazy, but collect email addresses. You know what? If you have a social media presence, you can collect email addresses from your people that are following your own social media for your store. And you can do that by just asking. You can have a raffle where if they sign up for email, then they're entered to win a prize. And the goal of this is to email people maybe on a weekly basis. You will have to have some kind of a platform to create an email. You don't just want to send it from your personal email. Collect those email addresses so those shoppers are yours, that you can contact every week and keep them updated. The next thing to consider as an action item to bring more shoppers into your booth is to create signs. And this is one that I really don't see a lot of booths doing. And consider creating a sign. You can do it in Canva. I'm thinking about creating some templates for vintage booth owners that they can download and customize for their own. But create signs that will draw people in. One action item you can take is to create signs, even handwritten signs, that tell the story of the products that you're selling. If there's something with a lot of history or something unique in your booth, why not just write it down and tell a little bit more about it so that story is not lost. When the person purchases it, they can keep that story going. Another action item, and you may not have thought about this, is to use AI to help you create a sign. I know traditional retailers will tell you that there are certain words that help entice people to come into your store and to your booth. And, sometimes we can't think of that because we're not traditional retailers. So go to ChatGPT and say, hey, help me come up with a great sign for this product or this booth. Give me a list of words that give me a list of words that will bring people into my booth, like just something that will capture people's attention. Okay, and the absolute last action item that I want to talk about is pricing. We have worked so hard on our pricing that we don't want to give away a lot of margin. So this is really the last resort when it comes to the action items that we're taking to increase sales during this economic turndown. So the first thing to consider is bundling deals. And I've talked about this a little bit. I did a pricing video that was fairly well received. We talk about it a lot in our group. But for example, one thing that I've seen in my booth in my store is that a booth owner has taken a 2 or 3 tier tray, added a lot of cute decorations, did not sell them individually, sold it all together as one. And that is just one of many, many examples of bundling items to help increase your sales and not give away a ton of margin. Action item is to have a pricing mix. Something that, we always want the big sales, the big $100, $150, $500 sales, but be sure that you have smalls in your booth. Items that people can afford. Most people can afford, if it's $2 or $3 or $10, that appeal to a large majority as well. And this is something we call smalls. I have a blog post over on my website called The Ultimate List of Smalls. You can find it at vintageboothpro/smalls. Just to, help you start thinking about items that you can add that are low cost that will help improve your sales. And the absolute last action item is to consider markdowns and discounts. And I know this is always kind of the first thing that we think about when sales are down, that you want to give away everything. Just got to make the money. Consider taking some of the action items first. And if nothing else, consider a markdown sale first. Take a few items that maybe have been in your booth for a while, and mark those items down by a little bit, and be sure to promote those items on social media as well so you can get a little bit more promotion of those items. And then the last thing would be to do a booth-wide discount. I am so guilty of this because it's easy. It's easy just to say, hey, I want to do a 25% off sale. Like I'm not making rent. I'm not making the sales that I want. Let's just do overall. But then I'll see an item that I should have marked firm or something, and it's just like, ooh, I hate that I gave away all that margin, or, that really desirable item that I thought would sell at full price when at a discount. So I like to consider doing markdowns first, but for me personally, I don't have a ton of time, so I just end up doing, the booth-wide discount. But that's something you should consider last. So I hope those tips helped. Let me know which action items you're going to take, if any. And I hope that we all have an amazing month this month and make our rent early. And if you want to view these tips in a blog format, I have these over on my blog, vintageboothpro.com. And be sure to join our community over on Facebook. And if you like tips like this to help improve your vintage booth sales, I'll add a playlist so you can keep watching. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much, and I will talk to you on the next video.